All right, let me talk a little bit about how we teach students here at the program to tackle vignettes. So let's say you set up a block of questions and you're ready to go and feeling good, ready to start those questions. And you read that first vignette, and all of a sudden, your heart starts to race. You start to panic. You start to get nervous. You're not sure how to answer the question. My goodness, then you go on to question number two, and that tachycardia continues. And then question number three, and it just gets worse. Your cortisol goes up. You're starting to sweat, and you go, how am I ever going to continue with this journey? How am I ever going to be a practicing physician? Those students, I tell them, stop, take a deep breath, because what many want to do at that moment is just go and read more. And as I mentioned, that's not going to help you with application of that knowledge. So what we do within the vignettes is, number one, I have you cover those answers. Many students go, why? That doesn't make any sense. I need to look at the answers. No, you don't. When you're with the patient, they don't have A, B, C, D on their chest, so don't tell me you have to look at those answers. That is not true. Tell me the age, tell me the gender, tell me the chief complaint. Tell me, did they go to the ER, did they go to the clinic? Let me know the structure of the question. Look for what we refer to as pertinent positives that would support why they even came in. And to be totally honest with you, 8 out of 10 times, you never have to read the whole vignette. And many times I hear students say, oh, yes, you do, you do. And then they follow it with, well, I have timing issues. Well, of course, I would too if I have to read the whole doggone vignette. Learn where you should have stopped, where you could have driven an answer. But instead, if I continue to read the whole vignette, I just get caught by more distractors. So the statistics are in the favor of the test rep. So number one, we ask you to cover those answers. Number two, you isolate the pertinent positives. Number three, you derive a thought process before you look down, and then you move that piece of paper and look down. Then I isolate what I think is the correct answer based off of what was presented within the vignette. I click on it and move on. It is that simple technique that removes distractors from the vignettes and helps you isolate what could be the real clue. Now, let's talk about how to correct a question. This is where I think, in my personal opinion, is more important than actually doing a question. I tell the class here to take the right answer. Go back to that vignette, take the right answer, and just the right answer, not the right explanation, just the right answer, and rework that vignette. With this disease process, does it match this age? Does it match this gender? Does it match this chief complaint? Hey, is this a chronic or acute disease? Yes, they went to the emergency departments, and this is an acute diagnosis, so that kind of makes sense. Read the second sentence. Is there anything there that would have caused me to pick this answer? No. Go to the third sentence. Oh, there it is. There's the word I could have, should have, and needed to have stopped on in that vignette. You're learning in reverse where you could have or should have stopped. But let's say you get to the bottom of that vignette and you would have never have picked that answer. That's a hole in your knowledge. I tell the students to take that answer, just the answer, and write it down on a piece of paper. Move on to the next question. Once they've completed that block of questions, they now have a small laundry list of things to read about. Now, whatever you annotate down on a piece of paper, make sure you flag that question. Now you're going to go read about those things that you had to transcribe. Once you found the new knowledge, the knowledge that you've been lacking most, they move on to something else for the day. You can't do that. You have to go back to those vignettes and rework them again to see how that data was twisted within the vignette. Not once do I have the students read the explanation underneath it or the educational objective, because those of you that have done it know and are fully aware that 3/4 of the material down there has nothing to do with the vignette. You think it's a golden nugget, you transcribe it, you add more, and all you're doing is putting more details in your head. Stay in the moment of that question, and you will succeed.